So you're a Subaru owner, and that dreaded check engine light pops on. It can be a real headache, right? Well, one of the most common reasons for that light is a little code called P0442. Now, it sounds all technical and scary, but stick with me because we're about to break down exactly what it means and, more importantly, how you can probably fix it yourself.
You know the feeling. You see that little orange light on the dash, your heart sinks a bit, and maybe, just maybe, you catch a faint whiff of gasoline. If that sounds familiar, don't panic. You are definitely not alone. This is the classic starting point for this very common issue.
And this is our culprit right here, P0442. That's the specific code your car's computer is flagging. But here's the good news. Because this code is so specific, the fix is often way simpler than you might think. Okay, so what in the world does P0442 actually mean? The official term is Evaporative System Leak Detected, small leak. Let's put that in plain English. Your car's entire fuel system is designed to be perfectly sealed up so gas vapors can't get out. This code just means your car's brain has found a teeny tiny leak somewhere in that system. We could be talking about a hole smaller than the tip of a ballpoint pen. I know what you're thinking. A leak? Oh no, this is going to be expensive. But just hold on a second. Before you even think about calling a mechanic or ordering a single part, let's look at the absolute #1 cause of this code. Seriously, it's a fix that could solve your problem right now for free. All right, and that brings us to suspect #1, your gas cap. I know, it sounds almost too simple to be true, but a loose or faulty gas cap is the single most common reason for a P0442 code. Before you do anything else, you have to start right here. Here's your 10-second action plan. First, just go check it. Is it loose? Second, tighten that thing down. Turn it until you hear it click a few times. That click is everything. It's how you know you have a good seal. After that, just drive your car like normal. It can sometimes take a day or so for the computer to run its checks again and hopefully turn that light right off. And here's another really critical tip about that cap. If you've ever replaced it with a cheap, generic one from the auto parts store, that could easily be your problem. Subaru's system is super sensitive, and a non-genuine aftermarket cap just might not create the perfect seal it's looking for. Sticking with an official Subaru part is often the key. Okay, so what if you've checked the cap? It's tight, it's the right brand, but that pesky light is still staring at you. What's next? Well, now we're going to look at a few other common parts in the system that are also pretty easy to inspect. So besides the cap itself, the little rubber seal on it can get old and crack. That's a simple swap. The system also has a couple of important valves, a purge valve and a drain valve, that basically manage the flow of those gas vapors. If one of them gets stuck or fails, boom, you get the code. And finally, there's a charcoal canister that absorbs vapors, which can sometimes get cracked or damaged. These are your next most likely suspects. All right, let's say you've checked the cap and these other common parts, and you're still stuck with that light. This is where we have to dig a little deeper for some of the less common and, more complex issues. But don't worry, the logic is exactly the same. We're still just hunting for a tiny leak. At this point, you're basically looking for any break in the chain of hoses and pipes that make up the whole system. You'll want to get your eyes on them and look for tiny cracks in the rubber, any connections that look loose, or any obvious physical damage. In some really rare cases, the fuel tank itself could have a small crack or hole causing the leak. Phew! So we've gone all the way from the simplest possible fix to the more involved stuff. Now, let's tie it all together into a clear, logical action plan that you can follow step by step to figure this thing out and get that light turned off for good. Think of this as your roadmap, and it is really important to follow it in this order. #1, start with the gas cap. It's free, it's easy, and it's the most likely fix. 2, move on to the common valves and the cap's rubber seal. 3, then carefully look over all the hoses and lines. 4, do a quick visual check on the fuel tank and canister for any damage. And finally, if you've done all that and the light is still on, that's the time to say, okay, I've done my part, and consult a professional mechanic. So, now you're armed with all this knowledge. That check engine light isn't some big, scary mystery anymore, is it? It's just a puzzle, and you've got the key to solve it. You have a clear path to follow, from a 10-second check all the way to a deeper inspection. So the only question left is, are you ready to solve the mystery of P0442?